Hello there, this is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. Thank you for joining me today. These are the cards that we will be making from the Time for Cake August 2024 paper pumpkin kit. These are my alternatives. A couple days ago, I did a video, you know, showing you the cards that are in the kit. So I hope I came up with some good alternatives. I still can't talk. For our first card, we have a Knight of Navy A2 card base, and then I cut a piece of very vanilla down, as well as a piece of wild wheat cardstock. I will have all the measurements, everything over on the blog at cindybdesigns.com. There's a link underneath this, taking you directly to that blog post. And I try to keep, my alternatives really simple, stay within the kit, not too many outside products, so that way you could really take advantage of what's in the kit. So we are taking the fun fold part that's in the kit, and I'm going to stamp that sentiment down right there on that panel in pecan pie. And my pad is really, really juicy, so it does work out though. Clean that up, got on the Stamparatus. Lay that down gently because I don't want that goo or, whatever is over on the left to show up. So I'm going to let the ink sink in for a while, clean the stamp, and then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and cut that down to a good size square, getting rid of, all the candles on the left and right side. And then once I do that, the panel directly to the left of that, we are going to use that to make our, well, for lack of a better term, candlestick, because I am from California. So there's that. And there's the sentiment. So with that one there, I want to cut the excess off, and I want 3 panels in a row, each measuring 1 inch across. And it's really important that you keep these straight, so when you lay them down on the card that we're going to do, it all meshes together. So I've got that done, and now I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus and take that panel of wild wheat and run it through a polka dot basics embossing folder. And with that, you just need the bottom plate number 1, embossing folder paper, top plate number 4, and then you have a great impression there. So at this point in time, I'm going to start getting everything adhered down. And you see me alternate my alternatives, or actually all my projects a lot, with different kinds of adhesive. You don't want to bulk up too much with seal. Okay, seal's fine. Dimensionals, you got to kind of wing it. Liquid adhesive, really wing it and go light. Depending on where you live, I'm outside of Kansas City, very humid, and the worst state to live in for allergies, by the way, that I just discovered. Wichita, Kansas. Oh, less than 3 hours away from me, and that is the worst place to live for allergies. And that's why I haven't been able to talk for 4 years. So hoping a time zone change, next month might help that. Pulling off the Stampin' initials on the back of our panels there, and that's why it's so important to keep them lined up, because as I'm putting them down, you still see them lined up, and I don't really adhere them down to the very end when I know it's lined up again. And so now I'm taking one of those little cake insert things and making that an accent to kind of anchor our sentiment there a little bit. 3 Stampin' dimensionals there. Get that adhere down. This time I tied a bow with that rose gold twine or whatever, because you saw not last week's, but Wednesday's video. It can be kind of fussy to work with, and I will have like another ribbon disaster for you later on. Grabbing a mini glue dot and tucking it under the sentiment, did the bow, and that was our first card. So for our second card, this one If I had kept my tails longer on the strings, I think I would have been better off, but you know what? It still turned out okay. I am taking card fronts, two card fronts from the kit with a pecan pie card base. And I'm okay with that blue strip at the end of the Moody Mauve one. And again, measurements, dimensions, everything over on the blog. So don't worry about this. I'm going to put that down first at an angle like tilted towards the left. And then the second panel, that'll be put down with seal too, and lay it on top of that, more so towards the right. And with this card, I'm going to be bringing in the punch out balloons, but first I'm going to stamp the sentiment onto one of those labels there and getting that, pulled off the sheet and all lined up. And I'm going to stamp that down, the sentiment, with pecan pie ink. I didn't use black ink at all with any of these alternatives. It surprises me. And I'm going to lay that down twice, just in case, because that's how I am. Get everything cleaned up there, get that punched out, bring back in my card base, and the panels, and pop on some full-size Stampin' Dimensionals on the back, which made me realize why there's minis in this kit because they barely fit. And then again, picking my balloons, kind of winging it where I'm going to put them, how I'm going to arrange them, figure that out. And then I grabbed some Night of Navy twine from, that is in the holiday catalog. I think that comes with that one suite that was released early, or at least to me it was. And got that into a bow. That's going to go on the balloon right there. And then the other strings, I'm going to attach behind the smaller balloons. So in the meantime, I put down a mini glue dot on the larger balloon, peeled off the backing, kind of rolled it upon itself to put, the tie on. Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And at this point in time, it's just like a matter of adhering everything and getting it laid down the way I wanted to. And with that being said, at this point in time, it's pretty much just adhering everything all together. What intrigues me about this particular kit is there are some very strong masculine and feminine colors in there. And I think with these cards, I was able to capitalize on both of them, especially with that strip at the bottom of that one panel, because there is pink in there, and there's blue, and there's brown, and some good neutrals. And on the first card that we made, I had very vanilla, and then a white sentiment. Don't hesitate to mix your neutrals like that. It always works out. Got the sentiment down. I'm cutting the strings off, and that is it for our second card. So for the third one, I want to use, I'm not going to call it designer series paper, but the lining that was inside of one of the envelopes, because it's a very cool pattern. And I wanted to cut that down because I needed like a 3 3/4 across by 3.5 down, because I do have panels on that last card, and that's the main one. So I'm like being very careful how I cut, and I'm paying a lot of attention to, you can see my hesitation, to make sure the direction of my paper is right. Because I'm on limited supplies, there's only 3 of those envelopes, and you just got to do the math. And again, like I said, everything will be the measurements that you're looking for over on the blog with the link below. So I took those 2 stylish shapes. I cut the larger one from the largest from vellum paper, and then the second largest from basic white cardstock. Put that together with liquid adhesive. I want to do 3 candles on the bottom and use one of those little die cuts from the kit on top. And that A in the middle of that sticker, be careful, make sure you get it out. So those candles are going down in Pretty in Pink, all three of them. And then the top, I am laying down with petal pink. And that's a good pink contrast, but it's like not too pinkish, but I needed something there on top of it. And I figured that later on. So I bring in the card base and the Moody Mauve cardstock I cut down because I'm going to layer this up. So I'm laying that down with our snail onto our basic white thick cardstock. And you see me like twist and turn the paper all the time. And I do that so I can like get it down straight. If you get it down right on one edge, then you're good. But at the top edge there, you see it's like I have like a little teeny tiny bit of sliver there. So you have top in one edge or bottom one edge, you're okay. And then just like slice it off. So maybe that's girl math, but we are on our way to the home stretch here. So I'm bringing in some Moody Mauve ribbon that carried over, scotch taped, to get that down on the back because I want to do a bow over to the left-hand side. And I also want to elevate that panel. So Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. You see me do that a lot. Drag my pokey tool down because it's easier to get the backings off the dimensionals there. And constantly, turn that card around and everything like that, making sure I'm going to lay it down right. Because all I really have to focus on is my left and right edges because top to bottom, that's still, 5.5. So getting that down, I'm going to pop Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the vellum and the white cardstock, pop that up at the top. Now, we all know I am not good at tying bows or anything like that in videos, but I'm okay with it. Outside of that, it's a weird thing. So I got down the bling because it was like kind of boring up there. And look at the position where I'm tying that bow. If you do it like I did, it's going to mess up your tails all the way around. So you have to just twist it like that so it's facing towards you and the tails will go outside of you, like over to the left of the card, like that. So, yeah, I say so a lot. I'm going to mess with that ribbon big time. Use the pokey tool, get it all straight, cut the tails. And then I think after that, we are okay. But the pictures, I mean, you'll see the end result. But I do want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you like these alternatives. I think that we made some good cards that, would appeal to anybody you choose to give these to. So I do want to thank you for joining me today. Quick overview of what we've done. That's our first card. To the left is our second. And then over there is our third. Please hit like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and let me know what you want me to do next. And have a great weekend.